Hi guys, we're going to get started here in about 2 minutes. We're going to let some folks join in. For those of you that are joining now, we're going to get started here in under 2 minutes. Welcome and happy Friday. Bonjour. Guys, for those of you that are joining now, we're going to get started here in just about 1 minute. I'm going to be respectful of everybody's time, but we know we saw a larger sign up for today's webinar, so I want to make sure those folks that are trickling in get an opportunity to see it from the start, but we'll get going here in under a minute. Hi guys, we're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. Great to see so many familiar names. All right, we're going to get rolling here. I'm going to, like I said, be respectful of everybody's time, so let's jump in. For those of you that I've not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Sean. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of Hopskip. Hopskip's a platform that streamlines how professional meeting and event planners book hotels for business events, conferences, meetings, room blocks. We work with a ton of different hotels. We work with really primarily three main types of planners on the planner side. Those would be third-party meeting and event planning companies, national and international associations and nonprofits, and corporate planners. Today's webinar is really going to be a walkthrough of the platform. For those that might not be as familiar with Hopskip, we provide this on a monthly basis to the hotel community as well as the planner community as a way to be able to kind of pop in, get a refresher, get some learnings on how the platform works and some best practices. So today I'm going to walk you through some of the core functionality on receiving RFPs, assigning RFPs, submitting proposals and responses. And then I'll also show you how you're able to measure your sales team's performance throughout the entire workflow. If anybody has any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to put them in the chat. The Hopskip team will make sure that we either answer them on the spot, or if we don't have an opportunity to answer them live, we'll make sure we address them after as well. So like I said, feel free to message in the chat during the webinar and I'll try and answer them as best I can as I do the demo. Let's get rolling. So I'm assuming everyone can see my screen. This is the first page that you land on when you get into Hopskip as a hotelier. This is your RFP dashboard. This is your command center. It's your one-page snapshot of all the different RFPs your property is currently managing. Each one of these columns represents a different stage in the sourcing process. So essentially, this is your list of leads that have been generated requesting proposals for your property. This column new means this lead has recently been submitted to your property, has not yet been opened. Once you open, begin reviewing the RFP, it's going to automatically be moved to the next stage. Once you submit a proposal, it will be moved to the submit proposal stage. And then once your property gets selected or awarded the booking, the RFP record will move to property selected. You can filter this view just to make sure for the folks that have larger sales teams, you're not looking at 1,000 RFPs. You can just simply, once you assign the RFP, you will have the ability to see that individual's name in the filter, and then you can select that individual to just view the RFPs that they're assigned to respond to. You can also switch your leads list on the RFP dashboard from a card view to a list view. This allows you to be able to sort columns, allows you to be able to see all of the different RFPs that have gone through the workflow. So everything from a new RFP received to an RFP that's been canceled or an RFP that's been turned down. This card view is only going to show you active RFPs. The top right of the dashboard is going to show you recent activity across your entire team. And then at the top layer of the dashboard, you have some metrics that allow you to be able to benchmark performance and be able to get visibility into RFPs that need attention. So whenever you see a number here for like unopened RFPs or unread messages, that is telling you that there is an unread message in one of your RFPs that you need to respond to, or an RFP that has not yet been opened by your team. And to make sure everybody knows on the hotel side, when you receive an RFP and open it, we inform the planner that you've successfully received and has started to review the RFP to provide that visibility to both sides. So it's super important, I know, as everyone knows, to make sure response times are as tight as possible. And this is one way we're able to communicate that back to the planner without you having to, reach out and let them know that you've been starting to review the request. I'm going to jump into what the process looks like when you start to begin reviewing the RFP. I simply just click on the RFP title or card, and then I'm going to jump into the request. The first page that we show hoteliers is going to be the request summary. The reason why we show this first is because we know your time is valuable as a sales team. We know it's literally money. And we want to make sure that you have all the details up front that you need to be able to make an informed decision of whether or not you even want to bid on this program. So here's a pop-up saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Hotelier, you've opened this RFP. We're going to just let the planner know that you've begun reviewing the request. I'm going to click OK. And now I'm going to be brought into this request. The status is going to change from new to reviewing. I'm now seeing this RFP summary, which again is supposed to be a one-page snapshot that informs your team whether or not that this is something you even want to bid on. Program info tab is going to show you some additional detail around the group, the event profile, key success factors, any deal breakers. We'll also share any event history that the planner has added if it's a recurring event. You'll also see any contract details that the planner has also added to the request. On the proposal builder is where you're actually going to create the proposal that gets submitted back to the planner. So Hopskip organizes each section of your proposal in different tabs at the top that go horizontal. First tab is where you're going to be able to see what the room block request looks like and where you're going to enter room block rates. So we're going to say, we're going to put these rates in $199, $250, $350 for each room type requested. If I wanted to propose additional dates, I just have to click this propose new dates button. The planner will inform you if they will accept date suggestions, and they will have the ability to specify the pattern in which they're willing to accept those proposed dates. The reason why we do that is because we want to make sure if you're spending time on proposing dates, they're actually going to be eligible for booking. Event space tab is where you're going to see the details of your event space request. And this is where if you filled out your hotel profile when you first joined Hopskip, or after you've joined Hopskip for that matter, this section could take really quick. So you'll see a lot of times on Hopskip, planners are sending robust meeting space requests. You have the ability to assign meeting rooms to each meeting space request. If you've completed your hotel profile and filled out your meeting room details and capacity charts, assigning meeting rooms is as simple as 2 clicks. I just look at the space details. I select the event space room from my property that I want to host that event in. I'm going to click assign, and then Hopskip is going to recognize that this same meeting room has been requested for all 5 days of the event. And it's going to ask you, do you want to assign this room for every single day of the event? Instead of having to build it out line by line, I'm going to click assign. And now that room is assigned for every single day of the event. For the sake of time, I'm going to go forward throughout the proposal builder. On your F&B details, this is where you're going to be able to understand the food and beverage request from the planner. You have two options here. You can either submit a detailed F&B rates, or you can submit a minimum. We're going to elect to submit a minimum in this instance. You'll see as I complete each section of the proposal, I will change from a red exclamation mark to a green check mark. The questions tab is where you're able to see any questions that the planner has asked all hotels in this RFP, and it's where you're able to respond to those questions. And then the planner will have those responses submitted in your proposal when you respond with your proposal. The concessions tab, I know that everyone here is very familiar with the concept of planners requesting concessions. This is where you're going to be able to go through and approve or decline any of those concessions. You also have the ability to provide a dollar value if you do want to offer the concession, and it's appropriate to have a monetary value. So we would just enter a number in here, and then I would just click next and proceed to the next concession. The contract clauses tab is where planners are informing the hotel that it is requested to have this contract language in the agreement if indeed the property gets booked. We're not asking you at this point in time to approve or decline the language. We're simply asking you to acknowledge the receipt of this request, which in turn essentially tells the planner that the hotel is not approving or declining this contract language. They are agreeing to have a conversation with you around it if indeed they get shortlisted. The concessions tab, we actually already went through this. Contract clauses, I already went through. General tab is where you're going to add some additional information around your contact info, any dates that you want to put in for a expiration date of the proposal or a cutoff date for the group. You can also add promotions and special offers in any proposal that you submit. You can also, for the hotels that are on premium, create promotions and special offers outside of RFPs, and you can target those offers and promotions to be featured and put in front of specific group types or planner types when they're initiating their requests. So that's a cool feature that we'll definitely cover too in an upcoming webinar. Taxes and fees, pretty standard here. This is where, again, if you take the time to set up your hotel profile once, all of this information can pre-populate. So this is essentially a section I could skip entirely if I set up my hotel profile in every proposal. Attachment section is where if you have additional details that live outside of the proposal details, maybe like a marketing brochure, you're able to add those attachments. And when you submit your proposal, those documents are going to go to the other side of the platform where the planner is able to review when they receive your proposal. So I've gone through all these tabs. I've entered my details for my proposal. I get to my review section where I'm able to see a summary of my proposal. If all looks good, I'll see a completion status as well. For the sake of this demo, for the sake of time, I didn't fill in every field, but I'd see this at 100%. And then I click submit proposal. At that point in time, the planner's then getting an email notification that they've received a proposal from your property. They're clicking a button in that email and going right back to Hopskip to begin reviewing and responding to your bid. Now, once your proposal is submitted, it's going to look similar to this. So I've submitted my proposal. Planners reviewed, as you could see by this status badge. So we'll also inform you when the planner has reviewed your proposal, just like we inform the planner when you've begun reviewing their RFP. One of the cool features that a lot of hotels seem to really like, and I don't think a lot of hotels know that this exists, which is on us, is your competitive insights section. So this is a dashboard that hotels on the premium version of Hopskip have access to, which allows hotels to be able to understand how competitive their proposal was versus the other hotels that were also requested for this same RFP. So you'll be able to understand things like, how does my guest room rate stack up against the other competing hotels? How does my F&B stack up or rank against the other competing hotels? What about my response time versus my competitors, or my proposal views versus the other hotels competing to win the business? So this is definitely a dashboard that hotels that on premium unlock a lot of benefits and a lot of visibility and insights on how fine of a line they want to make their proposal from a competitive standpoint. I'm going to now just kind of quickly go through the rest of this here before we jump into the dashboards. Your portal to contacting the planner, this is something that we get asked a lot, is in every RFP. You'll see a tab called Message Planner. That Message Planner tab is going to provide you with a chat thread that's directly between you and the planner. You'll have some information over here on the right-hand side that informs you of the group type and some details around the request. You'll also see some program information as well. When you send a message on Hopskip to a planner and they're not online at that point in time, they will get a notification email mentioning that you've sent them a message. They'll come in the Hopskip and begin reviewing and responding to your message. They'll also have a similar dashboard on their RFP dashboard that you have, where you'll be able to see any unread messages as soon as you log into Hopskip. You'll see that number flashing in front of you. Let's see. I'm going to pause for a sec because it looks like we got some questions coming in. The competitive insights also give insights in the case we didn't win the business. Yes. So competitive insights the question was, let me back up. Does the competitive insights dashboards also give insight in the case that we didn't win the business so that we can see who won and what the proposed details are they offered? Yes. Let me see if I can pull up an example of that, Jenna. That is something that we call winning hotel intelligence, where we will share the name of the hotel that has been awarded the business and why they were awarded the business as according to the planner. So let me see if I could pop one of those open. And if not, we'll make sure that we send over an example and show one. Let's see here. Actually, this was the hotel that won. So this hotel essentially would look like this. This is a funky example because this hotel was actually the one who won it, but you would see something similar where it's name of the winning hotel, average rate, and it would show you a delta, higher or lower than the rate that you submitted, as well as F&B. And yes, this is a great question. I'm glad you asked that. Just to clarify, this is only in the premium version. All of this would be unlocked. There are some tiles on the dashboard that are available for the free, but yes, most of this dashboard is on the premium subscription. And for those that might not even be familiar with what I'm talking about when I say that, Hopskip is 100% free for hotels to be listed, for hotels to receive leads, for hotels to respond to leads, for hotels to win business. Hopskip does not take a booking fee or a commission. You, as an option, as a hotelier, can upgrade your property to a premium subscription, which unlocks a set of features. Like one of the features is what we're looking at right now, the competitive insights dashboard. Other features that are unlocked under premium are capabilities like this. So hotels, we were just looking at competitive insights dashboard at the RFP level, right? That gives you intel at the RFP level, understanding how competitive your proposal is versus the other hotels in the RFP, right? Now, I just jumped to this reporting and analytics icon, which opens up these 4 dashboards for me. Sales performance, turn down, lost, and comp set. So sales performance is going to give you an overview of what does my lead volume look like? What does my opportunity value look like? How many proposals am I submitting? What's my bid rate? How many bookings have I won? And what does that booked revenue look like? You'll be able to see all that information on your sales performance dashboard. All of this data too is 100% exportable. Your turn down dashboard is going to provide you with insights on the opportunities that you turn down. So you'll be able to see and trend the reasons why you're turning down opportunities and who's turning them down from your team. The loss dashboard is going to provide you insights on the winning hotel advantages. So when you have bid or submitted proposals for an opportunity on Hopskip, but were not awarded the business, This dashboard is super helpful because it informs you of the hotels that did win the business, why they won, and what their profile looks like currently on Hopskip compared to your profile. And then lastly, comp set. So this is another dashboard that the hotels on the premium subscription of Hopskip seem to really like. This is where another feature on premium, you have the ability to document your comp set. When you document your comp set on Hopskip, you then have the ability to benchmark and report out on your performance versus your comp set performance in your comp set dashboard. So again, this is a premium feature that I think a lot of hotels are really, really gravitating towards, and something that we're finding provides a lot of value because they're able to literally see, for example, how your hotel stacks up against your competitor set across a wide variety of different metrics. So I could see, how many bookings is my hotel achieved versus my comp set? What is the booking value of my hotel's total booked business versus my comp set? I could see that both in my market as well as hotels outside of my market. So this is a new feature that we just released. You have the ability now, when you're documenting your comp set, to be able to add hotels to that comp set that live outside of your destination. I'm going to pause here, just make sure. Okay, cool. It looks like the Hopskip team is doing a good job of answering questions as they come in. So I appreciate that. If there's anything else that you guys have questions on around dashboards, feel free to also email us too after the webinar. We'll make sure that we get responses back to you and the information you need. Lastly, I'm going to now just walk through how to update your hotel's profile on Hopskip. This is something that is super important to marketing your property and getting your property higher or more awareness on the platform. So let me back up. One of the main ways that hotels are able to drive more awareness to their property is getting better placement in search. That's one of the many ways, but that's one of the ways. How we place hotels in search is based off of what the planner is searching for primarily, or first and foremost. But also, we've identified over the years that when planners are searching for hotels, seeing complete hotel profile information is critically important for them to, one, feel comfortable and confident that this is a hotel I even want to spend the time requesting a proposal from. So over the last couple of years, we've seen a big increase in hotels, which has been great, going into their profile and making sure that they have the most up-to-date attributes, team members attached. But one of the features we just launched recently that should hopefully only help you and your team stay on top of your hotel profile's completeness is this banner up here, where we will inform you how complete your profile is, and we'll also tell you on each and every section of the profile where you're missing information. So let me back up. To get to the hotel profile, you click this little hotel icon. I'm going to be brought into my profile now. I'm going to see a handful of tabs on the left-hand side. First tab is your location tab. Not much to do here besides making sure that where we say your location is on a map is actually where you're located. The description section of the profile is where you're going to add details and attributes like when your property opened, last renovation date, website links, any virtual tours that you want to share, any social media links, an overview or description of your property. All of this information is super important to planners to be able to have at their fingertips when they're seeing you or evaluating to add you to their RFP from search results on Hopskip. Some other features in your profile would be, now you have the ability to provide rewards, or you have the ability to provide details around your hotel, like ratings or hotel type, amenities. You also have the ability to provide, like I was just mentioning, awards and recognition, where now planners, when they're searching for your hotel, they're able to see this information and really, really value knowing, this hotel won this award this date. So definitely, if you have the information to populate this, I strongly recommend you do. Photos, pretty self-explanatory here. This is where you're able to add additional photos to your property. You can choose now which hotel photo you want as your main image. You could also now order the photos across so you're able to see exactly what the planner sees when they're reviewing photos of your property. Guest rooms is where you're also able to now specify the different types of guest rooms you have that make up this total. Your meeting space is where I was mentioning earlier. Spending time on this section of your profile is going to save you an immense amount of time downstream. What I mean by that is you'll come into here once, you'll add, the standard meeting space information like number of meeting rooms, total square feet footage of meeting space, largest meeting space square feet. But then you'll also be able to add your capacity information down here. You add this information by clicking add new room. You enter the details of that event space, click add, and now that room is saved and added to your profile. So anyone on your team, when they're getting an event space request, can easily assign a room by just clicking a drop down, essentially. Last couple of things that I'll just quickly hit on here to make sure everyone's aware is your proposal default settings. So like I mentioned earlier, there's things that you can do on Hopskip once that's going to save you a lot of time over and over again. So your general rates, right? Like this is where in every Hopskip RFP, you have the ability to put an expiration date or a cutoff date. Add those to your profile once, you never have to put them in again. Same thing with taxes and fees. Add them to your profile once, sayonara, you never have to put them in again. Same thing with food and beverage, right? So this is the standard F&B items. You're able to, of course, customize the rates and the units, all that good stuff, but you add them here once, and then you can pull them right into your proposals as you see fit. Decline reasons allow you to be able to customize. Let me take a step back. Whenever you receive a planner's RFP and you want to turn it down, we ask you to provide a reason why. You can customize the reasons why, and this allows you to be able to track and trend, reasons why you're declining to bid on planner's RFPs. Lastly, here, I will call out the comp set tab. So this goes back to what we were looking at in the reporting section of the demo when we looked at the comp set dashboard. This comp set tab in your profile is where you actually document your comp set that ultimately ends up populating the comp set dashboard. So to add a hotel to your comp set, again, this is just on the premium version. So if some hotels on the free version are going into the profile and seeing this grayed out, that's the reason why. To add a hotel to your comp set, you just click add new. You'd be able to enter that hotel, add them. I could also edit or delete any. So in this case, I have to essentially delete some because I don't have enough hotels in my comp set to be able to add more to. We do limit them depending on which subscription you're on. If I want to delete one, simply just click delete. Now you'll see right at the top, I didn't even cover this. At the highest level, you'll be able to see how you compare against your entire comp set, right? And then we're at this point in time taking the average, not the aggregate. If you wanted to dive into the deep analytics around your comp set, you can do so with one click right from your profile by just clicking this comp set dashboard link, and it's going to take you right back to your comp set dashboard that we reviewed earlier, where you can benchmark your performance. Any questions on that? All right, cool. When planner search properties are non-paying hotels buried like they are in CVent. I'm going to try to address a couple of these questions as they're coming in here because I know we're getting hit with a lot. The free hotels are not buried if they're not on a paid subscription, Tim. How hotels ultimately get placed or presented in search is first and foremost based off of the planner's search criteria. So they're searching your address, you're going to be the first one displayed essentially. Now, how we ultimately stack rank hotels in search results is really driven off of hotel profile completeness. But there's another component to it. If you are on premium, you essentially get another boost. So think of like ranking or search results display in Hopskip as like a overall score. That score is made up of how complete my profile is, and then if I'm on free versus paid. And it's as simple as that. Let's see. Ooh, okay, cool. I'm glad you like it, Tim. Looks like we got every question, I believe. Like I said, if we didn't answer them live and you have additional questions, feel free to reach out to us. After the webinar, we also host these on a recurring basis. So feel free to sign up, for a future one. If you want to send your team to get a refresher, we have these every month and it's 100% free. We also have support available in real time, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And this is available for free hotels, paid hotels, everyone that uses Hopskip. To access that support, you just simply click this little green circle in the bottom right corner, click the send us a message button, and our awesome support team typically responds in under a minute and is willing and able to assist. I think that's probably good for today. I know I went through a lot. Like I said, we're doing these consistently, so there will definitely be one in the next couple of weeks. We'll be sending out the dates for those and the registrations for those. So definitely keep an eye out for that. If anybody does have any questions following this, feel free to reach out. You can always reach out to support, but if you have specific questions, you can also reach out directly to the Hopskip team. We'll make sure we share some contact info there. And lastly, I'd just like to thank everyone for, the engagement and the responsiveness with using Hopskip. We're growing every single day and we're here to stay. And it's really exciting to see the ecosystem to come together and support, the meeting and event planning community. So thank you guys. And we'll see you on the next one. All right. Have a good rest of your day and weekend. Bye, guys.